the new school. All right, the new school, yes, well that was a very splendid building, of course, and it had a very strong and enthusiastic PTA. I do remember very vaguely that when they were at the old school, some of the dads dug out and did a swimming pool there.
Can you tell me about the new school?
Yes, as I remember, it was built in the late 60s. It was built before the village hall, and of course it had indoor loos, which they hadn't before, and they had grass patches and not all asphalt like you usually have. And I assume it was probably because I don't ever remember really going into it very much. It was probably like the village schools that I knew that had one big classroom for everybody and one small classroom for the babies. I think they had more than that at the School Lane school, but it was certainly built in Victorian times, so it was old. The new school was palatial. It was really great. You know, they had a lovely hall where they could have assemblies and everything, and they had a very enthusiastic PTA. We did a Christmas party for the children each year. I think now they've all got sophisticated and they have discos, and I understand some primary schools now have proms, would you believe? How things have changed. But yes, that was really nice. So we all, and when you're new to a village, if you've got children, that's when you make friends. It's more difficult to move to a village as you're older. And of course we were all there together, we were all into it and all getting steamed up about the same sort of things, or pleased with other things. So it was fun. It was a fun village in those days. Now, what else do we need to know about?
You did say something about a swimming pool.
Well, yes, the swimming pool was moved from the old school down to the new school. It's obviously bigger and better now than it was. But I do know Doug Burnham is the authority on this, because he and his children, Rhoda and mine, say they were there first. But I do seem to remember that the dads were going to do something towards this pool. School Lane, at that time, opposite the old village school, there were about 8 or 10 big, I suppose, Edwardian maybe, big tall council houses. That was all. Barley Close was not there, that was totally fields. And they were big, big with 3-storey houses. The other council houses were up where Gladys lived in Lane. There were council houses in School Lane, and there were the old people's bungalows, which I think were built just after the war, actually. They were there already, but there was very little new housing at all, well, apart from Midwinter and his gang. Down at the bottom of Bates Lane, where the Bryant houses now are, that's, oh crumbs, can't remember the names.
Brookend?
No, before that, on the end of, follow on from Church Lane, Brookside, and all that. They were built after, suddenly, a demolition, which they did at that time. A demolition gang moved in and took down a very nice old house, which I think was supposed to be the village bakery at one stage. And that was really beautiful. But of course that cleared an entrance to the by Sunny Cottage, and so fine. The bulldozers came and the bricklayers came, and a whole new set of new mums and dads, which I suppose is what, regeneration is all about. And we were still a cosy lot, because we did integrate, everybody more or less sort of mucked in together. The new shops were built in the 70s, Oh, and of course the pond was there, opposite outside Pond Farm, where the bus shelter now is, with little ducks on. We used to take the children down to feed the ducks summer mornings.
It's hard to imagine a pond there, you know.
It was a very narrow.
Long.
That's right, yes. It was not a pond as you expect a pond to be. The pond that Gladys calls a lake down at Mill Farm, which was at that, when we came, was owned by a chap called Alan Smith, who was a civil engineer and was friendly with Gerald, and Mark was allowed to go fishing in this pond. I can't quite place it because it's so different now. Everything is completely different down there. As I say, Brook End was another little row of bungalows. The bigger houses were not built then. Past the plough, I think it was only the bungalows, and the other side of the road was Vera's farm, which was, I think we got a friend living there. I think perhaps he rented it, and it was sold for development, which is now where all the big bungalows are.
Ansterbrook. Is it? No.
I tell you, it could well be, because yes, there's even more houses down there that...
The plough is no longer a public house here in the village.
Yeah, I realise that, sadly. Yeah.
So we must tell people where it was.
Ah, yes. Right, well, going down from Main Street, across where the mini roundabout now is, it was Brook End, that's where it started. A little way down on the right-hand side was the garage, which was pulled down to build...
Wheelwrights.
Wheelwrights, that's right. Almost opposite the Wheelwrights, I think, was the big plough inn, which was run by an ex-RAF Scottish fella, see, Burns Night Supper. And they had a tremendous amount of land around them. I mean, even more than the Five Bells have got, because that goes back a long way. And then there was a gap, I think with fields again, and then a row of small bungalows, and then the big house where Deirdre Barker lives, big square house, and Vivian Howell in the cottage.
Quakers Mead?
No, further than Quakers. No, not Quakers, not there yet. No. Incomers they were. And you. No, it's as you go, the whole Airfield Lane.
Yes, Holton Lane.
Yep, Airfield Road, I think it was called. I don't know whether it still is, but that's what it was called. Holton Lane starts from the other end. Mm-hmm. And there was this big square Georgian-looking house where the Barkers live, and then Vivian's little thatched cottage, I think it's that, or it could be top. It's very old anyway, she lives there. And then where the rugby club now is and wasn't until, I suppose that was 70s, they moved from Aylesbury to Weston Turville Rugby Club and built their clubhouse. And that was it. That was, I mean, our village parish boundaries are enormous. We go right up one side of the road to where the county farm used to be. So all those new houses, if they've got children, have to come to our school if they wish. And it goes right up almost into Aston Clinton on the Holiday Inn side of the road. And New Road, of course, up to Tring Road, DA41. So it's a very big, very, very big parish. It really is. But the village itself is in a sort of little dip, you know.